Classes continue discussion on business combination. Okay, so we're done with date of acquisition, subsequent to date of acquisition. Last part ng discussion natin class is about intercompany transactions. Intercompany transactions, pwede yung mangyari any time of the year. Actually, maganda example yung class, yung dividends na dineclare ni subsidiary. Tama? So si subsidiary, nag-declare siya ng dividends, naka-receive si parent, naka-receive si NCI, kaya in-eliminate natin. Okay? That's an example of intercompany transactions. So meron pa tayong 3 na i-discuss under intercompany transactions. Intercompany transactions. Okay, so ang kailangan mo lang tandaan dito class is that they have to be eliminated. Okay, so it means yung natitira natin na tatlong working paper entries, lahat yan about intercompany transactions. Okay, so ito na class ang kailangan mong tandaan dyan. For example, ito si parent. Okay, and ito si subsidiary. Ayan. So may transaction na galing kay parent to subsidiary, may transaction naman gagaling kay subsidiary to the parent. Alright? Ang tawag natin dyan class, if yung parent to subsidiary, we call it downstream transaction. Okay? From parent to subsidiary. Tanda mo, downstream, pababa. Okay? Now class, pag sinabi namang upstream transaction, this is from the subsidiary to the parent. Pataas naman siya. Got it? Okay, now, illustrate mo natin yung upstream transaction. Sir, ano yung importance yan? Take note class na ang may-ari kay subsidiary, again, si parent, let's say 80%, and si NCI, 20%. Alright? For example, si S, si subsidiary, nagbenta kay parent ng land at a gain of 10,000. Alright? Nagbenta ng land kay parent, gain 10,000. Dapat walang ganyan. Okay? Dapat walang gain kasi isa lang si parent and si subsidiary. Now, ang mangyayari dyan, class, since ang may-ari si parent and si NCI, yung gain na i-report ni subsidiary, hahatiin natin yan to parent and NCI. 80%, 20%. Okay? I-allocate natin to parent and NCI. On the other hand, pag naman si parent ang nagbenta kay subsidiary, gain pa rin na 10,000. Sino ba class yung may-ari kay parent? Shareholders of the parent. Walang kinalaman si subsidiary and si NCI sa ownership kay parent. That's why, pag downstream transaction, 100% kay parent, 0% kay NCI. Nakuha mo yun? Si NCI, 20% own niya si subsidiary. Kaya pag upstream, may 20% siya. Hindi naman niya own si parent eh. Walang kinalaman si NCI kay parent. That's why, if downstream transaction, walang allocation yan. Lahat yan kay parent. Okay? So, very important. Downstream, no allocation. Upstream, we allocate. Okay, now, again, meron tayong 3 na intercompany transactions. First natin, intercompany sale of non-depreciable asset, which is basically land. Okay? Sale of land. Ganito mangyayari dyan, class. Pakita ko muna sa inyo. For example, si parent, ito si subsidiary. Okay? Ito yung books nila. Nagbenta si parent kay subsidiary ng land. Debit cash. For example, 100. Credit land, 80. Credit gain, 20. Okay? Binili ni subsidiary, debit land, credit cash, 100. Okay? So, kailangan i-reverse natin yan. So, intercompany transaction yan. Eliminate natin. Paano natin i-eliminate? Cancel out yung cash. Okay? So, ang natira is land and gain. So, debit gain, credit land. Ayun. This is our working paper entry to eliminate intercompany gain on sale of a non-depreciable asset, land. Yun. Number 5, debit gain, credit land. Obviously, pag loss yan, ibahin na natin. Or, debit land, credit loss. Okay? Kaya kita ko lang. So, ayan. Pagtapos yan, pag na-entry na natin yan, wala nang gain sa books. Kaya tayo nagkikredit ng land kasi class, overstated ka by 20. Tama? Kasi ni-record mo as 100, pero dapat 80 lang. So, kaya nag-credit ka ng land na 20. Alright? Second. Number 2, tatlo lang to class, sale of depreciable assets. So, let's say PPE, sale of equipment. Okay, nagbenta si parent kay subsidiary. Debit cash, for example, 80. Credit equipment, 100. May loss naman this time. Debit loss, 20. So, books naman ni subsidiary, debit equipment, credit cash, 80 naman. Tama? And then, nag-depreciate si subsidiary, debit depreciation expense, credit accumulated depreciation. Alright? So now, kailangan eliminate natin yan. Now, cancel out yung cash. Therefore, ang gagawin natin, loss yan, tama? So, we credit loss. And since ang nangyari, naka-record na yung equipment at 80, dapat 100, debit equipment. Yun yung first entry natin. Debit equipment, credit loss. And then, take note class, nag-depreciate si subsidiary based on 80. Dapat hindi, dapat based on 100. Kasi in the first place, dapat walang sale. Okay, walang loss. So therefore, ang mangyayari dyan, debit depreciation expense. Kulang yung depreciation niya. Credit, accumulated depreciation. Ayan, this is our second entry. Therefore, working paper entry, number 6, pag merong intercompany sale of depreciable asset. For example, loss naman class debit equipment, credit loss, then update natin yung depreciation. Debit depreciation expense, or adjust natin. Credit accumulated depreciation. Tama? Now, opposite naman yung class, if nagkaroon ng gain, yung working paper entry mo naman, debit gain, credit equipment, debit accumulated depreciation, credit depreciation expense. Tama lang, opposite lang sila. Okay? Ayan. Isa na lang. Number 7. Ito na class yung pinaka-important dito, no? I think ito yung pinaka-nakakalito dito. Okay, third working paper entry, pag nagbenta ng inventory. Okay, si parent kay subsidiary or si subsidiary kay parent. Let's say ito si parent, ito si subsidiary. Alright? Nagbenta, debit cash, credit sales, debit cost of goods sold, credit inventory. Tama? Ito yung actual entry. Okay, now, sa books ng subsidiary, meron siyang debit inventory, credit cash. Ayan. Now, i-reverse natin. So, tanggalin natin yung cash, cross out yan. Okay? Yung sales, since naka-credit siya, i-debit natin. Debit sales. Yung cost of goods sold, i-credit natin. Cost of goods sold. Inventory. Okay? Mas mataas yung inventory na to kasi ito yung binayad niya kay parent, credit, inventory. So, ibig sabihin, working paper entry natin class, to eliminate intercompany sales, debit sales, credit cost of goods sold, credit inventory. Right? So, nire-reverse lang natin. Class, take note, this refers to yung current year na intercompany sale. Tama? Yung inventory na yan, napunta yan sa ending inventory. Ito yung ending inventory natin. Ngayon, yung beginning inventory, okay? Iyan yung sale na nangyari last year pa. Huwag mo yun? Ito yung current year. Paano pag last year? Tingnan mo to class. Pag last year, lahat ng income statement accounts natin, charge mo na sa retained earnings. Tama? Asan yung income statement accounts? Ito. So therefore, equivalent niyan, pag beginning inventory, debit RE beginning, okay? Ngayon, hindi mo i-credit yung inventory kasi last year pa yan. Tama? So, since last year pa yan, nabenta na yan to outsiders. Okay? Therefore, instead of inventory, credit cost of goods sold. Nakuha mo yan? Therefore, yung working paper entry natin, pag beginning inventory, debit RE beginning, credit cost of goods sold. Okay, so remember this. Beginning inventory, debit RE beginning, credit cost of goods sold. Debit sales, credit cost of goods sold, credit inventory. Okay, so dapat familiar ka dyan sa journal entry natin. Sir, how much to? Okay, yung net amount niya, tandaan mo to class, no? Di ba mas mataas si sales kay cost of goods sold? By how much? Ending inventory times the gross profit rate, GPR. Ending inventory times the GPR. Right? Dito naman, beginning inventory times the GPR. Sulat mo muna, later i-apply natin yan. Basically, yan na lahat ng working paper entries natin. So yung 5 to 7, actually 4 to 7, lahat yan intercompany transactions. Again, yung concept is, intercompany transactions should be eliminated. Parang sa home office and branch, yung shipments to and from, intercompany transactions yun in-eliminate natin. Tama? Ganun dito sa business combination. Pinakita ko lang to arrive at the working paper entries, pero erase ko na yan. Sige, so let's go to problem number, I think very comprehensive yung next problem natin, problem number 7. Eh, sama-sama na yan. No? Merong inventory, merong land, may PPE, or may equipment. Ayan. So, very good problem. Alright. So, apply natin yung class. Let's go to number 7. Okay na to. Okay. Question number 1, consolidated gross profit. Question number 2, consolidated net income attributable to parent. Question number 3, non-controlling interest in net income. Question number 4, consolidated operating expense. Let's read. On January 2, 2020, X company acquired 90% of Y Inc. at book value. Okay, so si X, si parent company, 90%, ibig sabihin may 10% na NCI, si Y, si subsidiary, nakalagay at book value. So ibig sabihin, fair value is equal to book value. So, mas madali. During 2020 and 2021, intercompany sales amounted to 2 million and 4 million. Ito, yung sales. So, nakalagay dyan, 2020. Ibig sabihin, sa beginning inventory yan. 2021, ito yun sa ending inventory. Respectively, X company consistently recognized a 25% markup based on cost. Okay, now, class, kapag based on cost, nakakalito pa yan. Gawin natin based on sales. Paano nga ba yan? Yung 25% based on cost, equal din siya sa, paano yan? Paano nga gawin based on sales yan? Well, 25 over 125. Tama? So, 25 divided by 125, that is 20%. So, lagay mo dyan, 20% based on sales. Okay? So, pwede mo i-cross out yung 25% based on cost. Lagay mo 20% based on sales. While Y Inc. had a 25% gross profit on sales. Sir, bakit important yung gross profit rate? Multiply natin yan mamaya. Okay? Gross profit rate, beginning inventory times gross profit rate. Okay, on October 1, 2020, the inventories of the buying affiliate. Okay? Ibig sabihin, ito yung bumili. Buying affiliate, which all came from intercompany transactions, show, ganito gagawin natin yung class. So, ang gagawin ko dito, nakita mo ba yung 1231 2020, okay? And then 12/31, 2021. Ito yung beginning inventory mo, okay? So ito yung kay X, ito yung kay Y. Class, tama ba sabi dyan, buying affiliate? So ibig sabihin, si X, yung 240,000, okay? And yung 100,000, sulat nyo muna, 160 and 40. Okay, tingnan natin ha. Tama ba inventory to ni X yung 240 and 160? Ibig sabihin, galing yan kay Y. It means, from Y to X. Ano tawag natin doon? From subsidiary to parent. It is an upstream transaction. Does that make sense? Okay, kasi inventory ni X yan eh. Si X si parent. Ibig sabihin, yung inventory na yan galing kay subsidiary. Subsidiary to parent, upstream. Ano yung importance ng upstream? Later, allocate natin to parent and NCI. Doon naman tayo kay Y. Ito, inventory ni Y, yung 140. Si Y is the subsidiary. Therefore, galing kay parent yan. This is a downstream transaction. Alright? Now, sabi ko kanina, yung amount na i-eliminate natin, tama ba? This is beginning inventory. This is ending inventory. Tama? Beginning inventory times the gross profit rate. Okay? Asan yung gross profit rate? Siyempre, dapat yung gross profit rate yung nagbenta sa'yo. Tama? So, ibig sabihin, Y to X. Ano yung gross profit rate ni Y? It is 25%. Okay? 25% gagamitin natin. So, 240,000 times 25%. Okay? So, sabayan niyo ako mag-compute. 240,000 times 0.25. That is 60,000. Okay? So, ginamit ko dito is 25%. Lagay ko lang dito, 25%. For this one naman, 20%. Kung sino yung nagbenta. Tama? Okay. So, 100,000 times, ito muna, 160,000 times 25%, you get 40,000. Okay, 100,000 times 20%, this is 20,000. 40,000 times 20%, that is 8,000. Alright, so yung eliminate natin, 60 plus 20 is 80,000 for the beginning inventory, 48,000 naman for the ending inventory. Okay, take note, ang i-eliminate mo hindi yung amount of the beginning or ending. Beginning inventory times the gross profit rate nung nagbenta sa'yo. In this case, ang nagbenta kay X, si Y. 25% yung GP rate ni Y, doon natin minultiply. Okay? 240 times 25%, that's 60. 160 times 25%, that's 40. Dito naman, yung 100,000 galing naman yan kay X na may GP rate na 20%. 100 times 20%, that's 20. 40 times 20%, that's 8,000. In-add natin, yun yung working paper entry natin later. Mamaya, pakita ko sa inyo yung journal entry. Okay, so, erase muna natin to. Ayan. Okay, so, next. On October 1, 2020, Y Inc. purchased a piece of land costing 1 million from X company. So, kanino class galing yung land? Di ba kay X? Si X si parent, tama? So, ibig sabihin, from parent to subsidiary, lagay mo dyan, downstream transaction yan. For 1.5 million. Tama ba class? Binenta ni X kay Y, nag-gain si X na 500,000, which is 1.5 minus 1 million. Tama? Dapat walang gain na 500. So, eliminate natin later yung gain. Okay, on December 1, 2021, Y Inc. sold this land to unrelated party for 1.5 million. Ang trick dito, class, nangyari yung sale October 1, 2020. Pero yung tinatanong sa atin sa problem, December 31, 2021. Okay? Next year pa. Tama? So, nangyari, October 1, 2020, dun may intercompany sale. And then, nung December 1, 2021, binenta na sa third party. Pag nabenta na sa third party, yun yung time na pwede ka mag-recognize na sale. Gets? Okay. On the other hand, on July 1, Y Inc. sold a used photocopier with a carrying value of 60 and a remaining life of 3 years to X company for 42,000. So si Y nagbenta kay X. Si Y si subsidiary, so this is an upstream transaction. Tama? So binenta, 42,000, carrying amount, 60,000. Lagay mo dyan, may loss na 18,000. So lagay mo dyan, loss 18,000, eliminate natin yan. Okay? Now, pakita ko muna sa inyo yung working paper entries natin. So dito ko lalagay ha. Working paper entries, number 1. Doon muna tayo sa gain. Okay. Class, ganito yan. Tama ba sa problem 2021 na? Tama? Pero let's say 2020 and 2021. Okay? Hindi, balik rin natin. 2021 and 2020. Tama ba, class? Doon muna tayo sa land. Kasi land yung madali. Sa 2021, ulitin ko, sa 2020, nag-recognize ng gain na 500,000. Tama? Sa 2021, nag-recognize ba ng gain? Hindi, kasi 1.5, binenta for 1.5, so walang gain noong 2021. Dapat meron. So, ang gagawin ko dito, class, dapat meron kang credit gain. Okay? Dapat may credit gain ka sa 2021. Ngayon, noong 2020, dapat wala kang gain nun. Okay? So, anong nangyari doon? Since nag-record ka ng gain noong 2020, tumaas yung net income mo. Tama? Tumaas yung retained earnings. That's why ang entry ko sa 2021, since mataas yung net income mo dito, debit RE beginning credit gain. Yun yung working paper entry ko for 2021. Nakuha niyo ba yan? So, ulitin ko. Ang trick kasi dito, class, 2020 nangyari yung bentahan, yung intercompany sale. Okay? Kaya lang, 2021 na tayo ngayon. So, sa 2021, dapat mag-record ka ng 500,000 na gain. Kasi yun pa lang yung point na pwede kang mag-gain kasi nagbenta ka sa third party. Okay? Okay tayo dito sa credit. Sir, bakit nag-debit ka ng RE beginning? Kasi class, noong 2020, nag-record ng gain, dapat wala. So yung gain na yun, pumunta na net income, pumunta ng RE. Okay? So overstated yung RE, kaya ka nag-debit. Right? Pero class, let's say 2020 ngayon. Ay, ignore mo na yung 2021. Let's say 2020 ngayon. Ano gagawin mo? Well, ang gagawin ko lang dyan, ito. Debit gain, credit lang. Tatanggalin ko lang, 500,000. Follow ko lang yung nilagay ko dito. Okay? It's just that, pag nireflect mo dito yan, okay, yung gain, naging RE beginning na yan. Hindi na land, kasi wala ka ng land dito sa books na benta ng third party. Nakuha niyo ba yan? So ito yung important sa atin. Pinakita ko lang what if 2020. Sige, let's go to yung next, which is yung sa photocopy, which is the equipment. Okay? Nagbenta at a loss. Kagito, gagawin ko dyan. Walang problema kasi 2021 nangyari yan. Tama? Debit equipment, credit loss. Debit equipment, credit loss, which is na-compute natin earlier, 18,000. And then, kulang yung depreciation mo. How much? Well, yung depreciation mo na difference is based on, actually, based on 80,000. Ganito gagawin ko dyan, class. Debit depreciation expense, credit accumulated depreciation. Gagawin ko dyan, 18,000, sabayan nyo ako mag-compute, 18,000 divided by remaining life na 3 years, divided by 3. Take note, nagbentahan July 1. Ibig sabihin, numultiply mo pa by 6 over 12. Times 6 over 12, you get 3,000. Okay. Ulitin ko. Sir, paano mo na-compute to? Eto, compute natin earlier yung loss. Ni-reverse lang natin. Tama? Okay na yan. Ano naman yung technique dito sa depreciation? Gagamitin mo yung loss. Okay? 18,000 divided by useful life of 3 years times 6 over 12. Kasi July 1, ayun, 3,000. Alright? So, okay na yan. And then next is, tingnan natin. Doon naman tayo sa ito. Okay? Let's go to the beginning inventory muna. Actually, ending inventory mas madali. Ending inventory, tingnan natin ha. Ending inventory, debit sales, credit cost of goods sold, credit inventory. How much? Na-compute na natin. Nasaan yung ending inventory? 48,000. 48,000. And take note class, since sales yan, nag-debit ka ng sales, nag-credit ka ng cost of goods sold. Di ba alam natin, mas mataas yung sales sa cost of goods sold. Therefore, sa entry na yan, bababa yung net income mo by 48,000. Does that make sense? Okay. Doon naman tayo sa beginning inventory. So beginning inventory, debit RE beginning, credit cost of goods sold. How much na-compute natin earlier? 80,000. 80,000. So in this case naman class, nag-credit tayo ng cost of goods sold. Ibig sabihin, tataas yung net income natin by 80,000. Ulitin ko, yung working paper entry natin ng ending inventory, decrease sa net income. Beginning inventory, increase sa net income. Alright. So as long as alam mo na yan, pwede nating sagutan yung problems. Compute the consolidated gross profit. Okay, Q1. Nakita mo dyan class yung gross profit ni X dun sa given natin sa atin na statement of comprehensive income. Nakita mo dyan yung 10 million for X. Okay? So gross profit of X, 10 million. Sabi ni sir, basta consolidated, dapat 100% yan. So ayan, 100%, 10 million. Gross profit ni Y, the subsidiary, is 5.6 million. Nakita mo yan? 5.6 million. Okay, next. Ano yung makaka-affect ng gross profit natin? Ito. And this one. Okay? Doon muna tayo sa ending inventory. Ending inventory, yung gross profit natin, plus ano mangyayari? Increase or decrease ng 48,000? Decrease kasi nag-debit ka ng sales, binaba mo yung sales, nag-credit ka ng cost of goods sold. Alam natin, mas mataas yung sales than cost of goods sold. Therefore, gross profit mo bababa by 48,000. So, minus 48,000, beginning inventory is, ito naman, nag-credit ka ng cost of goods sold. Tama ba class? Pag nag-credit ka ng cost of goods sold, bababa yung cost mo, tataas yung gross profit mo. Plus naman siya, 80,000. Okay? Plus 80,000. Answer dito class, the consolidated gross profit, 10 million, plus 5.6 minus 48 plus 80,000, you have 15,632,000, the consol gross profit, which is letter C. Letter C. Okay. Let's go to question number 2. Consolidated net income attributable to parent. Kay parent lang. So, paano gagawin mo dyan, sir? Since kay parent lang yan, gagawin ko dyan, net income ni parent, how much? Nakita mo dyan yung 4 million? Yes, 4 million. So, 100%. Okay, ko dyan, 100%. Net income of subsidiary, ilang percent owned dyan ni parent? 90%, tama? So how much yung net income ni subsidiary? 1,822,000 times 0.9, you should get 1,639,800. Alright? Next, doon naman tayo sa intercompany transactions. Okay, tingnan natin yung gain on sale of land. So class, doon sa land, tama ba ito yung entry natin? Right? And yung land is a, ano yan, upstream or downstream? Downstream. Okay? Since downstream yan, mag-credit tayo ng gain, therefore, plus 500,000 tayo. 100%. Since downstream yan. Okay? Plus 100,000. Plus 500,000. Pero what if nangyari yan 2020? Sa 2020, magma-minus ka naman ng 500,000. 2021 ngayon so plus 500. Gets? Okay. Doon naman tayo sa equipment. Meron tayong loss, tama? Sa equipment, this is an upstream transaction. Yung loss na 18,000 na yan, tama ba pag nag-credit ka ng loss? Taas sa income yan, tama? I-allocate mo yan to parent and to NCI. So, 18,000 times 90%. That is 16,200. 16,200. And then kay NCI, 18,000 times 10%, it's 1,800. Okay, 16,200 lang tayo. Right? Because it's an upstream transaction. Lagi ko dito 90%. Positive yan kasi credit loss. Okay? Don't forget, lagi siyang may depreciation. Pag ang binenta mo is depreciable asset, lagi ka may depreciation. Okay? Yung 3,000, allocate din natin yan. Parent, NCI. So 3,000 times 90%, this is 2,700, this is 300. Tandaan mo, class, yung depreciation, nag-debit ka, so minus yan, tama? 2,700. Tandaan mo, laging opposite to. Pag loss, add back, minus depreciation. Pag gain, minus to, plus depreciation. Laging opposite yung signs nila. Right? Next, last na. Doon muna tayo sa ending inventory. Okay. Ending inventory, tingnan natin, class. Meron diyang upstream, may downstream, tama? May upstream, may downstream. Nasaan yun? Ending inventory natin, ito. Ito yung upstream, ito yung downstream. Okay? Doon muna tayo sa upstream. Pag upstream kasi, i-allocate natin yan. Okay? Yung 40,000, ulit. Yes, tama. Yung 40,000 na yan, since upstream yan, allocate natin. So, mapupunta kay parent, mapupunta kay NCI. 40,000 times 90%, 36,000. 40,000 times 10%, 4,000. Since sa pinag-uusapan natin dito kay parent, 36,000 lang tayo. Ang tanong ko sa iyo, class, pag beginning inventory, ipa-plus mo ba yan o ima-minus? Tandaan mo, pag beginning inventory, mag-i-increase yung net income mo. That's why, ipa-plus mo yan. Magpa-plus, 36,000 tayo dyan. Saan ba tayo? 36. Ending pala to. Okay, so, sorry. Pag ending inventory, magdi-decrease ka ng net income. Ulitin ko, ending inventory muna tayo. Decrease ang net income, therefore, minus 36,000. Alright. Doon naman tayo sa 8,000. Yung 8,000 class is a downstream transaction. Therefore, wala kang i-allocate to NCI. Lahat yan kay parent. And since ending inventory yan, magdi-decrease yan ng net income natin. So, minus 8,000. Got it? Okay. So, upstream 90%, downstream 100%. Okay. Next is beginning inventory. Ganun din. Upstream and downstream. Sa upstream natin, nasaan yan? Ito, 60,000. Okay? 60,000 times natin sa 90%, okay, which is 54,000. And pag beginning, increase ng net income, therefore plus. Plus 54,000. Okay? And then ito naman, yung downstream na 20,000, lahat yan kay parent. So 20,000 times 100% plus 20,000. Yun. Let's compute the consolidated profit attributable to parent, 4 million, plus 1,639,800, plus 500,000, plus 16,200, minus 27, minus 36, minus 8,000, plus 54, plus 20,000, you should get 6,183,300. 6,183,300. Actually, ito na yata yung pinakamahirap na question dito sa handouts natin. Ito. Hindi pala. Yung next problem pa, problem number 8, mahirap din yun. Pero yan, yun yung consolidated gross profit attributable to parent, letter A. Plus, ang key dito, alamin natin kung alin yung 90%, alin yung 100%. Ulitin ko, net income ni parent, sa kanya lahat yan, kaya 100. Net income ni sub, 90 lang. Yung land, downstream yan, kaya 100. Equipment, upstream, kaya 90. And the inventory, meron tayong up, merong down. Lahat ng up, 90. Okay? Lahat ng down, 100. Beginning inventory, up, 90. Downstream, 100. Tandaan mo lang, pag beginning inventory, tataas yung net income mo, kaya nag-plus tayo dito. Pag ending inventory, bababa net income mo, kaya nag-minus tayo dito. Right? Sige. Isa pa. Talaga naiintindihan nyo. So, answer sa question 2 is A. Okay. Let's go to question 3. Non-controlling interest in net income or share ni NCI. Okay, ganito lang yung class. Saan yung share ni NCI? Siyempre, yung net income ni subsidiary, may 10% sa dyan. Okay, how much yung net income ni subsidiary? 1,822,000. Alright? Times 10%, that is 1,822,200. Okay? What else? Tama ba, class? Lahat ng upstream. Downstream, wala na siya. Sa land, walang pakialam dyan sa NCI. Tama? Sa upstream, meron. Yung equipment, meron yan. So dito, yung loss na allocated to NCI is 1,800. So lagay ko dito, equipment. Okay, lahat ng upstream, equipment, which is plus 1,800. Okay? So paano gagawin mo dyan, sir, sa depreciation? Ito, 300. Since plus to, laging minus yan. Again, laging opposite, depreciation expense. What else? Ano pa yung upstream? Ito, meron kang ending na upstream, this one. Meron kang beginning na upstream. Ito pala, 40 and 60. Okay? So yung, doon mo tayo sa ending inventory. Ending inventory na upstream, nasa yun? Ito, 40,000 times 10%, that is 4,000. And since ending inventory yan, minus yan. Beginning inventory, nasan yun? Beginning inventory, 60,000. Okay, times 10%, that's 6,000. Since beginning inventory yan, plus naman yan. Ayun. So 182,200 plus 18 minus 300 minus 4,000 plus 6,000, you get 185,700. 185,700, that is letter boy. Okay, so ulitin natin. Pag net income attributable to NCI, kailan siya may share? Well, sa subsidiary, may share siya 10% kasi owned niya yan 10%. Lahat ng upstream meron siya. Downstream, wala. Kaya wala dyan sa computation natin. Okay. So, number 4. Pwede ko nang i-erase to. Okay. So, journal or question number 4. And then, papakita ko later yung... Actually, dagdagan natin ng question 5 yan. Question number 4, dito na lang. Consolidated OPEX. Okay, ganito lang siya. May OPEX sa problem, tama? OPEX ni X is 6 million. Pag conso, ibig sabihin, laging 100%. OPEX ni Y is 3.8 million. Tama? And don't forget, class, naalala mo, may depreciation tayo. Dapat may depreciation expense ka. Kulang yung depreciation expense natin kanina. 2,700 saka 300. Yung total depreciation expense natin, 3,000. So, add tayo ng 3,000. Therefore, ang OPEX natin, 6 million. Plus 3.8 million plus 3,000, you get 9,803,000. That is letter C. Plus yung 3,000 ito yung sa loss kanina na equipment. Okay? Yung 18,000 divided by 3 times 6 over 12. Yan yun. Alright? So question 1 is C, question 2 is A, question 3 is boy, question 4 is C. Class, what if tinanong sa'yo sa question 5, how much is the consolidated profit or consolidated net income? Paano gagawin mo dyan? Ganito gagawin ko dyan, class. Gagawin ko dyan, lahat ng 100%. Tama? Net income ni parent, 4 million. Net income ni sub, 100 din, which is 1,822,000. Okay, what else? Yung gain on sale of land, plus ko yung 500,000. Yung sa equipment na loss, add ba ko yung 18. And then may corresponding depreciation expense yun na 3,000. Alright? Sa beginning inventory, add ko yung 80,000. Ending inventory, i-minus ko yung 48,000. Therefore, yung consolidated profit ko or consolidated net income, 4 million plus 1,822,000 plus 500,000 plus 18,000 minus 3,000 plus 80,000 minus 48,000, you should get 6,369,000. As you notice, pag consolidated profit or consolidated net income, 100% lahat. Wala tayong minultiply na 90%. Sabi ko sa inyo, class, na yung consolidated income, meron kang attributable to parent and meron kang attributable to NCI. Tama? Dapat, pag in-add natin to, and this one, dapat ito makuha natin. Ito 100% eh. May portion dyan kay parent, may portion dyan kay NCI. So, add natin yung dalawa. 185,700 plus 6183, 300, you get 6,369,000. Ganun siya. Alright? So, if mag-gets mo yun, okay na okay ka na. Okay, class, let's go to problem number 9. Okay, so actually problems 9, 10, and 11, challenge questions yan. Okay? I doubt na maglalagay ng ganito kahirap sa board exam, pero let's see. Pag na-follow kayo dito, okay na kayo sa business combination. Sige, last. Question number 1, in the December 31, 2022 Conso Statement of Financial Position, how much is the balance of retained earnings? Question number 2, in the December 31, 2022 Conso Statement of Financial Position, how much is the balance of NCI? Okay, so let's read the given. Entity A acquired 75% of the outstanding shares of Entity B on January 1, 2020. Okay, so si A si parent, si B si subsidiary, 75% yung binili, therefore meron tayong NCI na 25%. At an amount equal to the book value and fair value. So equal yung book value and fair value, so walang excess. Okay, when the shareholders' equity of B is composed of capital stock 3 million, retained earnings 2 million. Okay, so add natin yung 3 million plus 2 million, yung equity ni B na subsidiary is 5 million. NCI was selected to be initially measured at proportionate share of fair value. Ibig sabihin, class, kung 5 million yung equity times 25%, lagay mo dyan, yung NCI is 1,250,000. A summary of the separate 2022 income statements of A and B were as follows. Ayun, ito nagpa-complicate niyang class. Kasi yung nangyari, yung acquisition date is January 1, 2020. Okay? So this is December 31, 2020, December 31, 2021, and December 31, 2022. Okay? Dito yung acquisition date, pero yung binigay sa atin na income statement is sa period na to. Tama? So 3 years. 1, 2, 3. Pinapa-compute sa atin how much daw yung balance ng retained earnings and NCI as of December 31, 2022. Okay? Yun yung nagpa-complicate dyan. Tingnan natin. Entity A, meron siyang net income, nakita mo dyan, 3,502,500. Yes. Entity B, 1.8 million. Nakita mo, again, si A si parent, si B si subsidiary. Okay, there was an upstream sale. So pag upstream, allocate natin. Upstream sale of equipment with a book value of 720 for 1,170,000. So binenta ng 1,170, book value 720. Lagay mo dyan, gain of 450,000. So lagay mo dyan, gain 450. Siyempre, kailangan natin i-eliminate yan. And take note, upstream transaction. At the time of intercompany sale, the equipment had the remaining life of 5 years. Encircle mo yung 5 years, Entity A uses straight line depreciation with no residual value. The buying affiliate used the equipment until December 31, 2022. So dito nangyari yung intercompany sale. Tapos ginamit up to December 31, 2022. So that's 3 years. Okay? At which time it was sold to a third party, Entity Z, for 648,000. Plus, pag nagbenta ka na sa third party, dun ka na pwede mag-recognize ng gain on sale. Okay? The balance of RE of A and B at the beginning of 2022 are 10 million and 5 million. So dito daw. Okay? Yung balance ng RE dyan, so lagyan natin dito. So balance of RE of si A is, si A, 10 million, si B naman, 5 million. Actually, si B yung important sa atin. Lagyan natin, si B, lagay ko dito is 5 million. Okay? Mamaya na si A. While dividends declared for the year amounted to 1.5 million and 350,000. So yung dividends na yan, dineclare ng 2022. Okay? For Entity A and Entity B, respectively. Okay, question number 1, RE. Question number 2, NCI. Tingnan natin, class. Sir, paano gagawin mo dyan? RE pinapahanap sa atin. Okay? Start muna ako with retained earnings beginning ni parent. Si parent is A. Alright? How much yung RE ni A? That is, nakita mo dyan sa last sentence, 10 million. Si A yun, tama? 10 million. Nalagay ko dito. Beginning balance, RE beginning of A, 10 million. Pero take note, class, as of 12/31/2021 yan. Okay? 12/31/2021. Now, tama ba si B, noong January 1, 2020, nung in-acquire siya, doon ka class sa first sentence, may retained earnings doon siya ng 2 million. Nakita mo yun? Meron siyang capital stock ng 3 million, may retained earnings ng 3 million. Okay. Class, tama ba i-eliminate natin yung 2 million na yan? Ito, eliminate mo yan. The debit to RE natin yan. Okay? So it means, yung difference between 2 million and 5 million, which is 3 million, increase sa RE yan. Tama ba? Tama ba class net income yan? Ng 2 years? Okay, net income yan. Alright? And si subsidiary, si B, owned siya by parent and NCI. Therefore, yung 3 million na yan, mag-share si parent, mag-share si NCI. Ilang percent? 75% si parent. 3 million times 75%, 250,000. Si NCI naman, 750,000. Pinag-uusapan natin, si parent, RE pinag-uusapan, so ito lang ang kukunin natin. Nakuha mo yun? Ang tawag natin dyan is post-acquisition RE of the subsidiary. Post-acquisition, alin yun? Yung RE from this point up to this point. Kaya minus natin, class. Kasi yung 2 million na yan, eliminated yan. Hindi yan dapat mag-reflect sa konso. So yung 3 million, yung difference nila, yun yung income na na-earn for 2 years. Yung 3 million na yan, hati si parent and si NCI, kay parent, 2,250,000. So lagay ko dito, 2,250,000. Okay. Ang analysis natin, class, dito muna tayo. Later, ito naman yung analysis natin. Okay? Next. Tama ba, class, yung gain na nagbenta, may intercompany transaction dito, tama? Nasaan yun? Doon sa middle portion. Na-compute natin earlier, meron kang 450,000 na gain. Okay? Class, nangyari, nandito tayo ngayon. Nangyari siya dito. Therefore, yung gain na yun, RE na yun. Tama lang? Dapat tanggalin natin yung gain. Okay? So, merong gain, lagay ko dito, merong gain na how much? 450,000. Upstream transaction yan eh, tama? So, si parent and si NCI, 450,000 times 75%. That is 337,500. 337,500, 450,000 times 25%, 112,500. Okay. So, ibig sabihin class ito, tanggalin natin yung gain. Kaya lang, dati pa yan. So, RE na yung effect niyan. Okay. So, 337,500, tatanggalin natin, minus 337,500. Since depreciable asset yan, equipment okay, update din natin yung depreciation. 2 years muna. Okay, 2 years muna tayo. So, 337,500, i-divide ko yan by, ano yung remaining life? 5 years, multiply ko by 2. Okay, 337,500, divided by 5 times 2, 135,000. Again, dapat opposite yan. So, yung gain, nag-minus ka, depreciation, plus ka dyan, 135,000. Okay, so far so good? Next nating class is, meron tayong, tama ba, nag-declare ng dividend si A, si parent. Nandun sa last sentence, how much yung dineclare niya? 1.5 million. Dividends declared by A, which is, this is an actual entry, no? Minus 1.5 million. Alright? So, ayan, in-update na natin to. Plus, hiniwalay natin yung analysis ng previous years sa current year because sa current year, income statement items yan. Sa prior year, lahat yan, retained earnings. So, ito, puro RE yung bangga mo dyan. Okay? Puro RE yan. Doon naman tayo sa current year. Now, ang tanong sa ating class, ending balance ng RE, tama? Ano ba yung makaka-affect sa RE? Well, makaka-affect sa RE, meron kang net, may beginning balance yan, meron kang net income, meron kang dividends. So, kailangan natin ma-compute yung net income attributable to parent. Okay? So, gagawin ko dyan class, net income ni A, ni parent, nasan? 3502,500, tama? Plus 3502,500. Net income ni B, the subsidiary, 75% lang dapat. 1.8 million, net income ni B, times 75%, you should get 1,350,000. 1,350,000. Right? Next is, dito naman tayo. So class, dito naman tayo sa, di ba nagbenta ka na? Tama? Nagbenta ka na sa third party. Tingnan natin class ha, kung ano yung mangyayari dyan. Nagbenta ka sa third party, yung actual entry ganito. Binenta mo siya, proceeds, kay entity Z. Nakita mo dyan class yung 648,000? Tama? Binenta mo, 648,000. How much yung book value niyan? Well, binenta mo siya for 1,170. Therefore, yung book value niyan, okay, 1,170,000 yun noong una, tama? And then, minus, i-depreciate natin siya for 3 years. Ginamit for 3 years yan. Okay? 1,170,000 divided by 5. Okay? 1,170,000 divided by 5 times 3. Okay? Yung book value natin, tingnan natin ha. 1,170,000 divided by 5 times 3 minus 1,170,000, 468,000. 468,000. This is the book value. Therefore, yung actual na gain na ni-record is 648 minus 468,000. 180,000. Tama? Ito yung actual gain. Kaya lang class, alam natin na kulang yan. Okay? Kasi yung should be gain natin, dapat hindi siya based sa 1,170,000. Dapat based siya sa 720,000. Alright? Ganito gagawin ko dyan. Proceeds na 648,000. Okay? And then yung book value ko should be based on, hindi 1,170. Dapat based on 720,000. So gagawin ko dyan, 720,000 minus 720,000 over 5 times 3. Okay? So umpitin natin. 720,000 divided by 5 times 3 minus 720,000. This should be 260 or 288,000. 288,000. Yung gain dapat na makareflect sa books, 648 minus 288, 360,000. Okay? So ulitin ko. Ito yung actual na ni-record na gain. Okay? Ang book value yung ginamit, 1,170. Pero mali yan. Dapat ang ginamit yung book value is based on 720 because wala dapat intercompany sale in the first place. Dapat ang makareflect sa'yo na gain is 360. Therefore, kulang yung ni-record na gain. 360 minus 180, kulang ka pa ng 180,000 na gain. Alright? So yung 180,000 na gain, the current year, since upstream transaction yan, si parent and si NCI, 180,000 times 75%, you get 135,000. 135,000 and 180,000 times 25%, you have 45,000. Alright? So yung gain natin class, kulang yung ni-record, 180, dapat 360. So kulang ng 180 kay parent, may plus 135,000 ka. Alright? Ayan. And then, what else? Okay, so don't forget na may adjust ka pa ng depreciation. Okay? Yung depreciation na na-adjust natin kanina is only for 2 years. Okay? Meron ka pang current year. Alright? So 337,500 divided by 5, 67,500. Ito yung 2 years eh. Tama? Yung third year mo, yung current year, okay, ito yung first 2 years, ito yung current, 67,500 plus 67,500. Ayan. So tignan natin class. 10 million plus 2,250,000 minus 337,500 plus 135,000 minus 1.5 million plus 3,502,500 plus 1,350 plus 135 plus 67,500, you get 15. Okay, so may kulang. 10 plus 2,250 minus 337, realized gain, lang ha, 135 minus 1.5, 2,262,500, okay, 1,350, 130, okay. Meron pang dividend income na na-receive si parent. Nasaan yung dividend income class? Punta ka dun sa last sentence. Dividends declared for the year amounted to 1.5 million and 350,000 for entity A and entity B. Yung 350,000 na dividends, okay, dividends sa 350, na-receive yan ni parent and ni NCI. Tama? Kay parent, 350,000 times 75%, you get 262,500. Si NCI, 350,000 times 25%, 87,500. Therefore, tatanggalin natin yung 262,500. Alright, so let's recompute. 10 million plus 2,250 minus 337,500 plus 135 minus 1.5 plus 3,502,500 plus 1,350 plus 135 plus 67.5 minus 262,500, you should get 15,340,000. Letter A. Ayun. So, class, ang trick dito, separate natin in-analyze, no? Yung first 2 years, sineparate natin yung third year. Ito yung first 2 years, no? So, year 1 and 2, kasi lahat yan pupunta ng RE. Ito naman, class, year 3, lahat yan, current year. So, income statement items yan. Kaya hiniwalay natin. Okay. So, hopefully, na-gets mo. Actually, I doubt na may lalabas na ganyan kahirap sa boards, no? Pero, for challenge question lang yan para sa inyo. Alright, so next nating class is question number 2. So, baka hindi mag-cash yan. Pagkasyahin natin is the balance of NCI. So, paano yung class? Again, NCI parang RE lang din yan. Meron kang beginning balance, may income, attributable to NCI, and yung dividends. So, ganito gagawin ko dyan, class. NCI beginning, earlier, na-compute natin siya dun sa first sentence, actually sa second sentence, 5 million times 25%, 1,250,000. Right? 1,250,000. Okay. Next na gagawin ko dyan, class, yung income na 3 million, hahatiin mo yan. Kay parent, 2,250, ito siya. Kay NCI, 750. That's why, post-acquisition RE ni B, may share sa NCI dyan, 750,000. Alright? Next, dun tayo sa gain. Alright, so yung gain na nangyari, yung January 2, 2020, merong share sa NCI na 112,500. So yung gain, minus natin yan, dapat wala yan sa books, 112,500. Siyempre, don't forget yung related depreciation yan. 112,500 divided by 5 times 2 natin, 112,500 divided by 5 times 2, 45,000. So kayo na si parent, meron siyang 135,000. Ito. Yung NCI naman, meron siyang 45,000. So plus 45,000. Okay. Next natin is, well, net income of the subsidiary. Nasaan yung net income ni subsidiary? Well, nasa problem, 1.8 million times 25%. Share ni NCI dyan, 450,000. Okay? Next, yung current year naman natin na yung kulang na gain. Okay? Tama ba? Ito yun. Yung 180, kay parent, 135,000. Ito siya. Kay NCI, 45,000. So yung gain, plus tayo ng 45,000. Alright? And then yung related depreciation, so kay parent, 67,500. Kay NCI naman, how much dapat yan? So kay NCI is 45,000 divided by 5. It should be, sorry. Yung gain natin, okay, so yung kay NCI naman is 180,000. Alright, so double check ko lang. Yung sa depreciation is, tingnan ko lang ha, so 450,000 plus 45,000, and then yung current year na depreciation, yung kulang sa depreciation is it's 180,000 divided by 5 times 0.25. Dito ko lang. Okay, so yung sa current year na depreciation, double check ko lang, class ha, para sure tayo sa sagot. Ayan. So meron tayong, okay. So meron kang gain na 45. Okay. Yung 67,500, this is, okay. So 337,500. Okay. So ganito gagawin ko, class. Sa depreciation kay NCI. So yung 450,000, 112,500 dyan kay NCI, tama? 112,500, divide natin sa 5, you get 22,500. 112,500, divide by 5, you get 22,500. That's for the current year depreciation. Ayan. And then, don't forget yung dividends. Dividends na dineclare na 350,000, na-receive ni NCI dyan, 87,500, so minus 87,500. Let's compute the balance of the NCI. 1,250,000 plus 750 minus 112,500 plus 45 plus 450,000 plus 45,000 plus 22,500 minus 87,500. You should get 2,362,500. 2,362,500. Ayan. Letter C. Okay, so mahirap talaga, class, yung problem na yan. So challenge question niya. Kahit ako nahirapan ako na sinagutan ko yan. Pero ang technique dyan, class, hiwalay mo yung analysis. First 2 years, kasi RE lahat yan, and yung current year. Right? O sige. Mabilis lang, class. Yung 10 and 11. Okay, naglagay lang din ako dyan. Actually, pwede na tayo mag-erase dito. So, hindi, masyadong marami yan. Dito na lang mag-erase. Last 2 problems for business combination. Plus, dinamihan ko talaga yung exercises natin for this topic, no? Kasi, for me, ito na yung, again, pinakamahirap. So, gusto ko ma-master nyo to, yung topic na to. So, ito rin yata yung longest discussion ko ever sa AFAR, no? Sige. So, number 10. Question number 1, what is the amount of sales revenue to be reported in the Conso income statement? Question number 2, what is the amount of cost of sales to be reported in the Conso income statement? Okay, the following transactions occurred during the year. On January 1, 2020, entity A acquired 60% of B and 70% of C. It is the policy of A to account all of its investment using cost method. Okay? Entity A sold inventory to C with a cost of 75,000 at a price of 100,000. On June 1, entity C resold all inventory from A, 80% to unrelated parties, 20% to B. Basta nagkaroon ng bentahan among A, B, and C, eliminate natin yun. Pero pag unrelated party na, pwede ka na mag-recognize ng sales. On July 1, 2020, entity B sold a new set of inventory to C with a cost of 125 at a price of 200. On August 1, entity resold all the inventory, 40% to unrelated parties, 60% to A. Alright. For the period ended December 31, 2020, entities A, B, C reported sales revenue 3 million, 2 million, 1 million. Total of 6 million. Tama? So yung total sales, 6 million. Kaya lang, maraming intercompany transactions yan. Tatanggalin natin. Sige, so paano yan, sir? Dun sa bullet number 2. Okay? Bullet number 2, sale of A to C. How much yung binenta ni A kay C? 100,000. Tanggalin mo yan. Okay? And then, si C, sale of C to B. Okay? Sale of C to B. Nandun sa bullet number 2 din, how much? Binenta niya kay B, so 150,000 times 80%. 20%. 150,000 times 20%, 30,000. Okay? So this is 150,000 times 20%. Ayan. So tanggalin mo yan. Nasa intercompany sale yun. Doon naman tayo sa bullet number 3. Sale of B to C. B to C, how much? Nandun sa bullet number 3 at a price of 200,000. So minus 200. Okay? And then nagbenta din C to A. Alright? C to A, ilang percent? 60%. 200,000 times, ilan yan? So 300,000 times, masaya tayo? So 100, 30, 200, and, okay. Coming from B, binenta niya 300,000 times 60%. That is 180,000 minus 180,000. This is 300,000 times 60%. Okay, so ganyan na siya, class. 6 million minus 100 minus 30 minus 200 minus 180, you get 5,490,000. This is your consolidated sales. Ibig sabihin, yan yung sales na binenta mo to customers, unrelated parties. So again, ito yung total sales, kaya lang, may mga intercompany transactions. Tinanggal natin lahat. Ayun. Nakuha natin yung consolidated sales. Question number 2. Consolidated cost of sales. Lagay muna natin, class, total cost of sales. Nasaan siya? Nandun pa rin sa last bullet. 1 million plus 750 plus 500. 1 million plus 750 plus 500, you get 2,250,000. 2,250,000. Okay? Ngayon, tanggalin natin, class, yung cost of sales of A to C. Nandun sa second bullet. A to C, how much binenta ni A kay C? Tama ba, cost niya dyan is 75,000? Tanggalin mo yan. Tama? Kasi intercompany transaction yun eh. How about yung C to B? Si C, binenta yan kay B. Tama? And then, 100,000 niya binenta, therefore, yung cost of sales ni C is 100,000 times 20%, 20,000. Lagay ko dito, 100,000 times 20%. Tanggalin din natin yan. Kaya lang, class, take note na nung binili ni C kay A yung inventory, tama ba ni-record niya yan as 100,000? Therefore, yung cost of sales ni B is based on 100,000. Mali, dapat based on 75,000. Kasi wala naman talaga dapat bentahan in the first place. So, ibig sabihin, may overstatement yung cost of sales. Lagay ko dito, overstatement of cost of sales of B or of C. How much yun? Well, yun yung 100,000 times or minus 75,000 times 20%. Okay? So, 100,000 minus 75,000 times 20%, you have, ulit natin, 100,000 times minus 75,000 times 80% pala. Times 80%. Okay, 100,000 minus 75,000 times 80%, you get 20,000. So, minus natin yan. Nag-gets nyo ba, class, yung overstatement? Kasi nung binili ni C yan kay A, ang naging cost of sales ngayon ni B, or ni C, 100,000. Dapat 75,000 pa rin kasi wala dapat bentahan in the first place. Kaya yung difference nila, overstatement ng cost of sales yan. Okay? Isa pa, bullet number 3. From B to C, how much yung bentahan? Binenta niya at a cost of 125,000. So, minus 125,000. What else? Binenta ni C kay A yung 60%. So, ibig sabihin, 200,000 times 60%, that's 120,000. Okay? That's 200,000 times 60%. Kaya lang, may overstatement na naman ng cost of sales. So, overstatement of cost of sales. Okay? From C to A, how much yun? Lagay ko dito yung solution ko. That is 200,000 minus 125,000 times 80%. Okay? So, 200,000 minus 125, parang yung ginawa natin kanina dito, times 80%, you have, ulit, 200,000 minus 125,000 times 40% lang pala yung binenta, times 0.4, 30,000. So, minus 30,000. Total cost of sales natin, consolidated, 250,000 minus 75, minus 20, minus 20, minus 125, minus 120,000, and minus 30,000, you get 1,860,000. This is our cost of sales. Class, ang difference sila, yung overstatement. Dito wala yun, hindi applicable yun. Dito kasi, naging iba na yung cost of sales ni C. Kasi iba yung purchase price niya nung binili niya yung inventory. Okay, kaya tinanggal natin. So ingat ka dito. Ito yung key dyan. Alright? Sige. So question 1 is B, question 2 is dog. Okay, mabilis na lang. Number 11. Sige. What is the consolidated gain? Actually, isa lang yung tanong dyan. Consolidated gain on sale of equipment to be reported by entity A in its consolidated income statement for the year ended December 31, 2021. Okay, ganito lang siya, class. The following transactions occurred for the years ended December 31, 2020 and December 31, 2021 regarding entity A and its two subsidiaries. Bullet number 1. On January 1, 2020, A acquired 75% of the outstanding stock of B. On this date, the equipment of B with remaining life of 5 years, underline mo yung 5 years, book value of 200, fair value 250. Well, alam natin sa consolidation, sa business combi, fair value dapat. So 250,000, encircle mo yan. Entity A acquired 62% of entity C. It is a policy of entity A to account all of its investment in subsidiary using cost method. Entity B sold this undervalued equipment to A. So ganito nangyari, class. Si B binenta kay A, yung equipment, tama? At a price of 150. Entity A resold the equipment to C. Related sila lahat, tama ba? So intercompany transaction yan. On July 1, 2021, Entity C sold the equipment to third party. Ayun, third party for 180,000. Dito ka lang pwede mag-record ng gain, okay? Dito, yung transaction between them, hindi ka mag-record ng gain dyan. Sa third party, pwede na. So, sir, how much yan? Well, tignan natin, class. Yung fair value, yung proceeds, how much binenta? Sa last bullet, 180,000. Tama? Computin natin yung book value. As of July 1, 2021. Okay? Tama ba, class? Doon sa first bullet, yung equipment natin, meron siyang fair value na 250,000. So, 250,000, computin natin yung book value, minus 250,000 over ilan yung useful life natin? 5 years. And then, January 1, 2020, 2021, tapos July 1, 2021. So, ibig sabihin, 2.5 years. 2.5. Okay? Computin natin, class. 250,000 divided by 5 times 2.5 minus 250,000, you should get a book value of, so computin natin, 250 by 5, 1.5 lang pala to. 1.5 lang. Bakit, sir? 2020, tapos hanggang July 1, 2021. So, January 1, 2020 hanggang July 1, 2021, 1.5 years lang yan. So, 250,000 divided by 5 times 1.5 minus 250,000, carrying value mo is 175,000. Okay, so binenta natin to outsiders for 180, carrying value mo, date of sale, July 1, 2021, 175. Therefore, yung gain na ilalagay mo in the conso, income statement is 5,000, letter A. Okay lang. Okay, letter A. Okay, so I think that's the last problem for business combination. Class, before we go to the theory, last na to. Okay, last na talaga. Ayoko may ma-miss dun sa lecture ko sa inyo, class, no? So, ito na naman yung mahaba ko na lecture for afar. Yung iba, mabibilis lang. Class, kapag SMEs, for theory lang to, no? FYI, ito yung mga differences niya. Mabilis lang. Goodwill is amortized not exceeding 10 years. Okay? Not exceeding 10 years. Pag SME, mag-amortize ka ng goodwill. Di ba? Pag hindi SME, wala namang amortization, mag-i-impair ka lang. Okay? So, 10 years. What else? Pag SME class, NCI is always measured at proportionate share. Wala kang fair value or proportionate share. Always at proportionate share. Number 3. Okay? Number 3 natin is acquisition-related costs are included in the cost of business combination. Okay? Di ba yung acquisition-related cost, expense natin yan. Pag SME, included siya. Okay? Before excluded. Ngayon, included na. And, ayan. And then yung last one naman, class, actually, yan lang pala. Tatlo lang pala. So, included siya. Sama ko na rin to. Number 4, yung difference between SME and full IFRS. Para ma-compute mo yung goodwill or gain, class, yung formula niyan is fair value of consideration given, okay, plus acquisition-related costs. Ayun, kasi included daw eh. Versus yung acquiree's interest in net assets. Difference sila, yun yung goodwill or gain natin. Sir, ano difference yan dun sa alam natin sa full IFRS? Take note, class, sa formula, in computing goodwill or gain, hindi mo i-add sa NCI. Wala kang in-add na NCI dito. Okay, so ibig sabihin, yung binayad mo, let's say for 80%, yung FBNIA is also 80%. So 80% versus 80%, yun yung goodwill or gain mo kapag SME. Di ba, naalala mo, pag full IFRS, yung 80% na bili mo plus 20% na NCI, i-compare mo sa 100%. Dito, sa SME, 80% versus 80%. Actually, ang tawag dito, class, is purchase method. Ito yung method na ginagamit dati before IFRS 3, before maging acquisition method, purchase method. So sa SME, purchase method pa rin. So these 4 items, yun yung difference between SME and full IFRS. Okay, let's go to the theory questions. Theory number 1, PFRS 3 defines it is a transaction or event in which an acquirer obtains control, letter A, business combination. Number 2, a business combination whereby the company taking over the properties retains its identity and continues operations, and other companies are dissolved. Pag na-dissolve yung isa, merger yan, letter B. Number 3, a business combination in which a new corporation is created. We know, consolidation, letter D. Under PFRS 3, how should an entity account for each business combination? Letter C, acquisition method. It refers to the date on which the acquirer obtains control, boy, acquisition date. Number 6, the acquisition method of accounting for business combination requires all of the following except identify acquirer, yes. Determine acquisition date, yes. Letter C, recognize and measure identifiable assets and NCI at carrying amount, false. Dapat fair value. Okay? So C yung sagot sa number 6. Dog, recognizing goodwill, kasama yan. Number 7, in a business combination, goodwill is measured as letter dog. The total of consideration transferred plus NCI, compare natin sa fair value. Okay? And the fair value of previously held interest over the fair value of net identifiable assets. That is the formula to compute for goodwill. Dog for 7. Number 8, under PFRS 10, an investor controls an investee. If the investor has all of the following except, dog tayo dyan, all of the above. A, the power over the investee. Exposure or rights to variable returns. Ability to use power over the investee, yes. Dog for number 8. Control is presumed to exist when the parent owns directly or indirectly. Letter D, more than half of the voting power. More than 50% of outstanding shares. Dog. Number 10, which of the following are correct? A, Conso FS or FS of a group in which the assets, liabilities, income, expenses are presented as those of a single economic entity. That's correct. B, separate FS or the FS by a parent in which the investments are accounted on the base of direct equity interest. Yes. Letter C, NCI is that portion of profit or loss or net assets attributable to equity interests that are not owned directly or indirectly through subsidiaries by the parent. Correct. Dog for number 10. Number 11, last item. How shall the parent corporation present the NCI? Okay, sa equity yan. Letter A, it shall be presented within Conso stockholders' equity separately from the equity of the owners of the parent. Ano ibig sabihin ng class? Yung NCI, nakaseparate siya dun sa retained earnings. Okay? Letter A for number 11. Ayan. That's the end of our discussion for business combination class. Medyo matagal yung discussion natin. Comprehensive because, again, for me, ito yung pinaka-important na topic in AFAR. And most of you, I believe, hindi rin maganda yung background nyo in business combination. So, tinagalan ko talaga. Okay? So, remaining topics natin, mas mabilis na tayo. Right? Sige. So, class dismissed.